Hello, this is Dr. Sean Marie Higgins with another episode of Spirit Call Out. This is where I bring the messages of Spirit to you. Today's call out is actually a little bit convoluted, and the interesting thing is there's a reason for it. First, I'm going to give you the initial contact this Spirit made with me, because then I'm going to share briefly my method of receiving spiritual contact. Then I'm going to describe how I received this particular spirit's information. And of course, I'll share all of the amazing wisdom that she revealed. She teaches us priceless lessons. Today we have gold here. We are given so much wisdom. I hope you stay listening to the entire episode. She didn't say so in our contact, but this spirit certainly is, to me anyway, a valuable spiritual teacher. So first of all, if your name is Erica McDonnell or McDonald or O'Donnell, McNeil, O'Neill, something like that, then this message is for you. So on the morning of September 16th or 17th, 2025, just a week ago, maybe, or even less, upon waking first thing in the morning, in my left visual field, I clearly saw an elderly, heavyset woman standing and trying to walk very slowly with a walker. And she spoke loudly and clearly the name Erica McDonnell or McDonald, O'Donnell, McNeil, something like that. And the interesting is, in the moment, I heard it very clearly. There was no doubt about what the last name was. However, if I had written it down right away, there would be no question on the exact last name. But since I was in a sort of alpha state of consciousness, and although thought about writing it down, I wanted to remain relaxed. But this just goes to show you and us all how important writing things down in the moment is and how important journaling is. I was even given the telepathic concept by another source of energy, probably one of my guides, in that very moment, that I would have difficulty recalling the exact last name if I didn't write it down at that moment. Instead, I repeated the last name in my head several times. Now, I've also described to you in previous episodes the importance of journaling, because it's not that we aren't given the information clearly. I don't think I've ever had information given to me as clearly in any other dimension or setting as I have from spirit to me. Spiritual communication is crystal clear. It's without any kind of description. It's without emotional attachment. It's without any extra baggage. It's clear, immediate, stark, pulsed as a very powerful concept. The issue is bringing that clarity from the spiritual world into the physical world. And it's easy to do in the state that I have learned to be in order to receive the spiritual contact. My growth now is going to be learning that I can transfer between brainwave frequency states of consciousness, let's say from alpha to a low beta, like a low full waking state, and still retain that information and go back and talk to the spirit. I already am in the low beta consciousness anyway, because I'm able to look around the room, think about breakfast while spirit's talking to me. But there's this other underlying relaxation that's present at that time of day for me immediately upon waking that isn't once I start getting up and moving my body around. So the issue is not that she was not clear with what she said, it's that I did not write it down immediately. If I had, I would have been no question, but it's close enough. I felt the letters LD, definitely M, McDonald, O'Donnell, McDonnell, something like that. But this is for you. If you're Erica, this is for you. She's giving me grandmother energy. I feel that she is the grandmother of Erica. If not biologically, she had taken on that role or was seen as grandmotherly by Erica, or she saw herself as grandmotherly to Erica. She appears to be an elderly woman standing with a walker, trying to walk and doing it, but very slowly. She is dressed in a skirt, maybe compression stockings, a sweater, cardigan. Hair is gray or white gray. It's up somehow in some style, a bun, but it's not very neat, not super neat. She is shown to me as a whole person from head to toe and in color, but with a dull hue. Everything is light colored, not as pastel, but more dimmed and dull. So it's a dimmed, dull color. This indicates to me that she is a low energy in the moment, or she's showing herself to me as she was seen by Erica at the time of her death or shortly before. It feels as though she knows she's declining and had been possibly declining for a while before she passed away. Now, if you've tuned in before, at the beginning of my podcast, I briefly explained my process of receiving messages from Spirit. When I wake up first thing in the morning, Spirit or some spirits come to me and share communication in some form. It's usually very vivid, stark, fast, and to the point, but it's short, but it's pulsed and it's powerful. That power drives itself into my memory very clearly, and I'm able to write it down pretty much right away, so that at a later time that I designate only to that spirit, so that I have enough time to devote to solid, meaningful communication, I sit at a later time with that spirit so that I can gather as much information as possible and be present for that spirit to give me the entire message that they are trying to deliver. When I sat in communication at a later time with this particular spirit, I began getting what seemed like unrelated or random messages, possibly even from other spirits butting in. So I questioned if these were spirits unrelated to the one with whom I was intending to communicate and were actually interrupting in order to get through messages for other people. However, the way that I connect with a particular spirit when I return to sit with them to get more information, not the initial spark of pulsation of intelligence, but when I later sit with them, the way that I do it, the method that I do it is very routine, methodical. It's very safe. It's very protected. It's very spiritually confidential, private, and intimate. Now, that process I have never explained to you. That will be a short class that I can give in an afternoon or a couple of hours if you're interested. I'll mention this again with details right here at the end of the episode, but email me if you're interested in such things. So anyway, I was then reminded, because of my doubt and my questioning, I was then reminded that because of my stable and secure method of merging with a particular spirit, that everything that I get during these protected communications is not penetrable by other spirits unless they are invited or let in, so to speak, by the one for whom the connection is for. The meetings that I set up are protected, they are sealed, they are safe, and I can trust that the information I receive is part of this particular session, even if it logically seems unrelated. Somehow it is part of the intended message. So in this call out, I describe the communication that I had with the spirit. I'm going to deliver it to you in the way that she delivered it to me, because as convoluted as it seemed, there is a method to the order of the information she delivered. I didn't understand it until she got going, and I just listened and received. And I thought questions in my head. I didn't write them down or interrupt her, but I was like wondering things in my head while she was giving me all of this information. And it may seem a little random and convoluted at first, but it all comes together with an amazing, mind-blowing, endearing message for everyone. So please just let this be, instead of a linear type of thing, let it be expansive in such a way that a flower might bloom, a petal here, a petal there, inkling here, an inkling there, but circumferentially everything eventually gets opened and bloomed. Let it open up that way, because that's how I saw her communication opening up to me. Okay, so after I received the information that I explained to you at the beginning, what she looked like, what she said to me, Erica McDonald, or very similar last name. Then I sat with her again and saw her vision again. She showed me the same things again. And then I heard a very loud voice say, Gabriel. And then I saw another entity that I cannot describe. I did not see features. I feel it was a male. It was a woman saying the name Gabriel. Again, the woman reiterated to me that she's using a walker and that she's very slow with the walker. But that is not how she is now. She shows me herself now as a yellow gold light, and that she now moves at the speed of light. So it might have been a joke or something that she moved so slowly. She shows me herself looking down at her feet, looking down at her hands, holding the walker and just sort of inching along and almost not even able to stand up straight or look where she was going. She was just going so slow and trying not to fall and steadying herself with her balance. I feel she also has always had a good sense of humor and humility, even in her most declining state, that she was positive and always felt better when she could connect with her family, especially grandchildren. This is what she's showing me. And this is coming through right now. This was not actually present during our communication when I sat with her. She's saying that what made her feel better every single time was when the grandchildren visited or a grandchild visited and she got to just chat with them and ask how they were doing. She felt a lot of love and regained energy from their lives flourishing. That's what she's saying right now. So maybe it's a joke. She was so slow that she's saying, now I'm really going at the speed of light. And she shows me her light, which is yellow gold. So if that was a joke, that was her. She refers to jokes again in another stage of this communication. So even though she felt very tired, she's not feeling like that now. But while I was having communication with her, she transferred her feeling of tiredness to me. I felt so heavy, almost like I couldn't move my body. I feel the weight all around my head and face. I felt my face restricted, pain in the back of my head. My face was full, my cheeks, the back of my head, heavy, pulsating. And then I wondered, was she hit in the back of the head? Was something in the back of the head or the head a bleed or something? Was that part of the reason she was in this state, or is that part of her passing? She did not specifically mention that, but what she mentioned to me are things that will identify her for you. And that was what she made me feel. My head felt full, heavy, really heavy. I was actually worried for my own health for a few moments there. So I just moved my body around to release my biological physiology from what she was trying to transfer to me as sensation. I then saw another scene. It was outdoors, and a thin older woman with a very brightly colored patterned shirt, very, very bright patterned shirt. She sat down in a chair outside as if she was at a picnic or an event of some kind. And she was talking with other people. She seemed as though she was dressed up to go to an event, but outdoor event. I heard her say, while she was talking to another person in front of her, using her hands to talk a little bit, she said, "It's about as much as I could handle." That's what she said. She was in good shape, this woman, walking upright, beautiful posture, very healthy looking for an older woman who could be in her 70s or even older. I then suddenly felt more pressure in my head, but this time it was almost as if someone was pushing their finger right into my brow, right between my eyebrows, right where my nose meets my forehead. I felt pressure there, very strong. And then I felt it wrap around to the back of my head again. So I feel as though there's something with the head with this woman that either contributed to her being in the state she's in and or part of the cause or the major cause of her passing. Then I heard some dialogue about someone's son getting psychic lessons or learning how to do psychic readings or tarot or something. The mother was present and she is proud and wants you to continue doing that. She wants you to continue getting these lessons and knows that you're very good at it and will flourish at it. I feel like this is a son that she's talking to. Then the elderly woman refers to jokes. There's something about jokes that she's referring to. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Then I heard a voice say, "A major hard time." And then the jokes, almost helping someone get through that, or something with jokes and a major hard time. Now, I'm not sure if these are titles of things or someone was having a hard time or it was a joke, a major hard time. Then the elderly woman in the walker, she reached out her hand and put it right up to my forehead and grabbed her fist inside of my brain. And she said the words, "It feels like I'm squeezing my brain, my brain." Then I heard the phrase, do you have a clean brother? I'm wondering if clean meant off of some sort of thing that person was addicted to, as in drugs or alcohol, or if it meant, not dirty. She didn't specify. Then scenario switched where I saw this young woman, very prim and proper, walking in a crowd almost as if she had just gotten off a train. She had a hat on, and she was dressed about like the late 1800s or early 1930s. So she had a hat with a very large brim that matched her dress. Young white woman with reddish hair, very proper. And I'm wondering what came into my mind, although the elderly woman did not specifically say this, but I'm wondering, is this her when she was younger? Or is this someone else? These are the things I wondered. Then I got the telepathic, not verbiage, but telepathic concept that this elderly woman in the walker wants to chat. I'm getting the feeling she is just chatting. She's bringing up everything here and there and wants to talk about old memories. And do you remember this? And do you remember that? And I remember when this, and wasn't that a hoot? And all this and that. And she's really just having a psychic chat with me. She's taking me down memory lane, and she just wants to shoot the SHIT, so to speak. She really just wants to talk about everything and remember everything. She then switches again and shows me that she is further along in the walker now. She showed me in the left visual field at the beginning of the very initial communication with me when she first introduced herself to me. She was in my left visual field. Now she's actually directly in front of me and obliquely facing me so that I'm on her right side, but I can see more of her front. So she's showing me she's further along in the walker. I'm going further along. I'm walking. It's slow, but I'm moving. There's movement. She feels this movement happening when someone talks to her. She loves to chat. It's almost as if she has so much to tell you about her life. She really lived life, and she wants to tell you, Erica, and maybe more people that are still in living body, that she has a lot to share with you now as a spirit than she did when she was living in body. She didn't realize that sharing all of her experiences would help you so much while she was still alive in living body. Now she's aware that all of her life experiences can be transferred to you through the discussion and telling of the stories and sharing with you the memories, because you are related to her, and even if not biologically, related in love, because there was a relationship there. When there's a relationship, there's a connection, and a connection is a lineage, because no matter how long that connection goes, the friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, and then they eventually meet each other, and then they're connected. It forms connections, like neural connections, but instead these are people connections. And these people connections of love, friendship, and biology, they form a lineage. And this is the lineage of love. She was not aware of this capability when she was alive. She loved to talk. She was a positive person. She loved her granddaughters and all of her family. She wanted to help, but she wasn't aware of her power to help through her own life that she lived, even as a young woman prior to Erica or some other of you ever even being born. But now she's aware of this, and she wants so badly to share this healing and wisdom with you to help your life now. She says this can be done by connecting with her and just opening to her, sharing this with you, and she can transfer the power, the healing, loving power. She can transfer the lineage of love to you by the simple allowing of it and giving permission of it on your end. Biologically, if you're biologically related to her, without your permission, you got her genes to some extent. No question about that. That's done automatically, autonomically, molecularly, biologically. We get the genes, we get the phenotype, we show up as we are. But the lineage of experience and love, even before you were born, she can transfer this to you through that parallel lineage that is an energy form, which is the lineage of the love that you have for the people you're biologically lineaged to. She's so excited about this new awareness. that she asks for Erica, and she asks for anyone else who is related in the family with whom Erica would like to share this information to just simply connect and to simply open to and allow the messages to come in. And they may not come in as obviously as they do for me, like visions and voices, but they come in through your life. They'll show up as phrases that she used to say on a television show or on the side of a bus, or they'll unfold as life experience happens and opens up for you, and you get jobs or things solve themselves. Problems seem to become easier and solved. She can do that for you through the power of love because you are connected. Some of these stories you may have heard before, and some of them you may have not, because some of these events may have happened prior to your birth, but it doesn't matter. The power can still be translated because it's lineage. Lineage transcends the literal. Lineage gives you the benefit of learning and growing and healing from other people's experience. That's the power of lineage. Let's not just limit that to biological. Let's take the lineage of love, can be even more powerful and absorb and dissolve into our lives in so many more ways than just simply looking like someone or behaving like someone, and maybe having some dis-ease, vulnerability genetically to certain pathologies or this or that. Let's open our possibilities through lineage to the energy forms of that. So Erica, this elderly woman does not give me her name. However, somehow she is here to help you through a hard time. So your instructions are to think of her, talk to her. She will help. She will chat. She loves to chat. She's showing me now, she's moving back to showing me how she was remembered by you possibly. She's looking down a lot. She squints her eyes a lot when she's looking at me as if she's trying really hard to focus, or the light is sensitive for her eyes, or she can't see very well. And then she reaches out with both of her hands to hold my hands with both of her hands and says, "Thank you to me. Thank you for delivering this message." She wants you to go down memory lane with her. She wants you to remember memories with her. There is so much wisdom retained in the memories of circumstances and events that you two had together. And those memories that you can remember and recall on your own, and you know they happened because you were there and you're remembering them, those open the portal, the vortex, to the memories that she had without you present or before you were even born, or the memories that she has as a spirit more recently, for which you weren't present because she had already passed. Memories that we have with other people in physical form are the portal to those people's, to that individual's memories of their whole life before you and then ahead of you, meaning after they pass. So this is lineage. Just like we carry genes from ancestors that we've never met, we can also learn through that connection as well. And that's what this is opening up. We have the benefit of healing from memories of the loved ones, of the loved ones, of the loved ones, of the loved ones, the memories of the memories of the memories of the memories. It's a lineage. But we start with remembering something that we actually were present for. And that is the portal. The key here is when you open up a memory like that, it could be positive, it could be negative, it could be felt as pleasant, or it could be felt as unpleasant. The key is to, and I can say that pun intended, the key to making the memory healing no matter what quality it felt to you during its literal time of happening as circumstance, as materialized form on this earth, no matter what quality of memory you would have classified that as during the circumstance. The key to unlocking its healing potential is to see the beauty in all of it. If it was a pleasant memory, remember it as gratitude. Wow, that helped me so much. How did that help you? It helped you feel loved. It might have helped you feel important. It may have helped you feel like you were helping someone else when you showed up for grandma, this elderly person, or whatever situation it was. And this information is for everyone, not just Erica. If this was an unpleasant memory, then what did it teach you? Can you feel that pain again, or remember the pain? Just remember the pain and say deliberately, this pain, I will use this pain as an opening to release it. I ask not to not feel pain. What I ask for is the strength and ability to get through it easier. And if I didn't before, I want to do that now. So it's helpful to recall all memories. Now, it should be done, depending on how traumatic a memory could be, it should be done slowly so that you graduate from the most pleasant to the more unpleasant over time. You may never need to reach a very traumatic memory in order to open. The traumatic memories may just simply become obsolete as you heal and develop a different relationship with your crossed over loved one now that they're in spirit form. And that's the next thing I wanted to go over. The lineage of love is still a lineage where we're always connected to someone. The biological lineage, although we get things passed down via genes, we don't see the person as still present. They are a past biological being that has passed away and is now physically no longer here. With the lineage of love, the being is always here. They just transfer form. So now what we have the opportunity to do is to reintroduce ourselves to this person or animal that we knew in physical form. Let's get to know them again in spirit form, because just this contrast is so educational, and it's brave, it's courageous to do this. Many people believe, and I'm one of them, that we come in as physical form from being a soul, and we get to pick a little bit, or maybe all, who knows? I don't ever really know. But the thing is I don't have any memory of that time. I don't have any memory of my loved ones from the time I was a soul. The only time that I know how to get to know them in spirit form at this point, until I cross over, and then we'll all remember everything. But in physical form, my only option in order to remember them in spirit form somehow is to get to know them after they've passed over. They're still here. They have the same personality. They have the same soulality, only it's now more expanded. They are now wise. They have better perception of what these memories were and what they can give us and how they can heal. They have better insight. They have better hindsight in spirit form. They have more to share about what they experienced in physical form. And they have more to share about their memories of what occurred in their physical form now that they are spirits. So we can remember something that happened in the past while we're still in living body. It's another thing to then pass away and remember that event as a spirit, because you're remembering something that crosses dimension. In doing that, it changes the quality of your perception of what happened. That's what this elderly woman wants to do for Erica, and that's what she's teaching us to do here. Now, this is just a very tip of the iceberg, kind of introducing these topics that will end up in my book. She reiterates now, there is so much wisdom retained in the memories of her and her memories of her. She is now in the form that allows her to transfer her memories and her life experience to you, Erica. She knows she has this power and is so excited to use it. When loved ones pass away, when any physical being passes away, this is coming from the elderly woman now. When they pass away from physical into spirit form, they have this ability through the lineage of love, through lineage, because they now exist in a form that is the same as the form of the memory, which is energy. This is a lineage from knowing her. It doesn't have to be biological or genetic. She reiterates that again. But it's the lineage of the love, of the relationship. When we love others, we form a harmony with them. The two vibrations dance together through life. And in some ways, this is the DNA of love. Not molecularly, like double helixing of DNA, strings of amino acids, but lovingly through entraining the DNA strands. They blend, they helix around each other, creating a double helix. Each love for the other is a strand. It's a strand of energy particles, which becomes a wave. It becomes a vibration. It becomes a frequency. These frequencies then double helix. Now, this is information that is being given to me right now by, I believe, my spirit guide. And I've never heard it before. It's not in any other literature that I've ever seen ever. So this is incredible, amazing information that we're getting here. So when two people love each other, each one's love for the other is a strand, and it is unique, just like DNA is unique. No two people or beings or anything have the same DNA. So our love strands are unique. Our frequencies are unique. These love vibrations blend through the phenomena of entrainment, and they harmonize. You can think of it as a harmony because it's frequency, which is technically how we could consider sound. And through the phenomena of sympathetic resonance and through the phenomena of entrainment, the two strands harmonize. This is a higher level of the two's relationship together, whether biological or not, whether it's friendship, whether it's an adopted child with an adoption parent or whatever. It transcends biology. This gives us the benefit of receiving and giving love with the quality of the biological relationship without having that biological relationship. This level of lineage transfers all energy elements of what the two of you had together to actually affect your health and your life once one has passed over and been in energy form. The lineage of love works on a higher level once in spirit form. Thus, she can transfer this to you now. She couldn't do it before because she didn't have the insight. She had to have crossed that bridge and looked back down memory lane from the form that the actual memories are in. Once she became in the same form as the memories, energy and energy, even if they're different densities, they're still in etheric form. They're still more easily understanding each other. The memory is understanding her. She's understanding the memory. And the two can interact and blend much easier in a lighter density. And she is able to direct and guide the power of the memory to her healing and pass it on through lineage to her family members' healing. And today she is emphasizing Erica. So she was holding my hands, both of my hands with her hands, standing in front of me, and is telling Erica and all of us that if you imagine your loved one, relax and imagine your loved one standing in front of you in spirit form. Hold out your hands and let them put their hands in yours. Hold both of their hands and look in their eyes if you can. And just ask to share memories and recall, be the first one to recall the most pleasant memory you have with that loved one who is now crossed over. The most pleasant memory you have with them will recall to you the same biological cascade in your body that was triggered at the time it actually happened. For example, if you were having a fun time with someone and you started laughing uncontrollably because of a joke or something happened, and you remember that as having so much fun, you were laughing, laughing, laughing. Laughter and joy triggers a whole cascade of healing by way of shifting neurotransmitters, boosting immunity, sending a whole cascade of anti-inflammatory molecules through the whole body. It's so healing to feel joy, happy, and laughter is like the pinnacle, the apex of joy. That's our body's biological, physiological expression and highest merging with an emotional feeling of joy. Laughter is the music of our joy because it's the rhythms of all of the things in our body together. The spasm of the diaphragm in rhythm with the breath, in rhythm with the blood pumping, in rhythm with the heart, in rhythm with the voice phonation that we make when we laugh. Our voice is a signature sound that is unique, just like our DNA. So is our laugh. You can tell someone's laugh. You can identify someone by their laugh, even more so even than by their talking voice. But if that was something that was incited in this memory, and all of those healing events were happening in your body at the time the event occurred, that re-triggers those same cascades of healing in your body now. You may not feel them literally as intense, or you may, but they're still happening. When you hold the hand of spirit, you're crossing dimensions. You're holding physical hands with spiritual hands, and then you're sharing a memory that you had with this person, your physical and their spirit. So you're creating another human to spirit or physical to non-physical bridge, physically with your hands, and then through love with the recollection of the memory. So that's another bridge you're connecting at the same time that you're connecting your physical and non-physical hands. And this will open the power of their love being transferred through your life. And it may come in many different forms. She says this is possible for everyone. Hold my energy hands for now. I share the awareness with you of the lineage of love. So Erica, hold her hands facing you. Hold her hands in yours. That's all you have to do. She will transfer her memories, her learning, her lessons, her new awareness since passing and crossing over with you. Energy heals everything, she says, and now she has the power to heal you, and just remember her. That's all you have to do. So all of us remember our crossed over loved ones. That they were here never goes away. That they were here never goes away. And that is today's message. And in closing, if you're interested, again, please email me at osteopathicwell@gmail.com. I don't allow comments on here for the simple reason that these communications are intimate and they can be very emotionally triggering for the people involved, and we don't want any judgments, only truth. However, I welcome emails and get many of those. And if you're interested in a course on how to connect with spirit, because I've never really shared with you how I sit in close connection with spirit, but I've been validated by spirit that I'm doing it right. So if you're interested in learning this, it might help open your own way to do it. So please email me if you're interested in learning my technique on how to merge with spirit. Please email me, osteopathicwell@gmail.com. And as always, I wish you the most loving and healing experiences with spirit. And until we meet again, namaste.